What's going on, everyone? In today's episode, we're going to be talking all about mistakes that I don't want to see you make when growing strawberries. Now, it is strawberry season. They're coming out of dormancy. They are thriving. They look amazing. If you've not yet planted strawberries, that's fine. You're going to learn a lot. And we're also going to talk about mistakes not to make when planting strawberries that are dormant runners. And so there's lots to learn in this episode. We're going to talk all about these mistakes because when it comes down to it, strawberries can be very easy to grow. I love growing them because once they are established, they pretty much are a perpetual harvester in your garden. You're going to have extra plants to give away to friends and family. You're going to have an overabundance of fruit that comes on fast and early in the season, giving you a beautiful taste of summer. It's just one of my favorite fruits to grow because they grow so fast and they produce such an abundance in a small area. So jumping right on into this, the first mistake as we're sitting here, what prompted this video was I had to get last year's debris cleaned up. This is a really big mistake because a lot of gardeners will make the mistake of just kind of letting their debris from last season's growth sit and decay. And the problem with that is that you have a few problems that are going to arise. One is that decaying material is going to hold on to moisture and will mold. Now, as it's breaking down and decaying, yes, it eventually will turn into compost that will feed your plants. The issue is that it holds on to a lot of moisture very close to the crown of the strawberry, and strawberries are very prone to crown rot. And so if you have a ton of extra just kind of dead material, it is far better served in the compost pile breaking down and then being returned back later in the season as kind of a top dress of compost than it is just composting right in its place. I would so much rather see you completely come in here, clean all this dead stuff up, just rip it out. You don't have to really take a lot of time to be nice and tidy about it. I'm just coming through here, taking all the leaves, all the debris, just raking my fingers through and pulling all this stuff up because this right here is it's going to really block airflow. It's really going to keep the crowns from drying out. It's really going to just get in your way. And I find more often than not, what kills my strawberry plants is not necessarily that they didn't overwinter properly. It's that they came out of dormancy and in the early spring when it's damp and cold, they just can't dry out fast enough and that's where they start to rot. Big, big mistake, and I definitely see it way too common not to make it number one. Second mistake that I see a lot of gardeners making when growing strawberries is not coming back and fertilizing in the spring. Strawberries are some of the heaviest feeders in the garden. Now they might not look that heavy of a feeder, but they are. They absolutely love to be fertilized. Now, the biggest mistake arises when gardeners see their plants coming out of dormancy in the spring and you have just an abundance of beautiful, deep green growth. That is not an indicator of enough nutrition. Generally, when it comes to perennials, you always want to do a fertilizing in the early spring because this is not necessarily, again, this is not an indicator of soil nutrition. Yes, we absolutely filled these beds up with compost. They are growing and thriving, but that is not the case. Come June and July, after they've fruited, they put a ton of growth on. They are going to need more nutrients to sustain and grow themselves into fall to prepare themselves for the next year. It's not always right now that we even have to worry about the fertilizer. We want to get them up and growing. Yes, when you fertilize early, you are going to facilitate a healthier, happier plant. And yes, that plant can definitely produce more fruit for you in the long run. But it's just, I see it so often where gardeners simply presume that because their plants are nice and green that they don't have to fertilize. Now, what are we fertilizing with? We use Trifecta Plus. That's all we use in our garden. Use what you want. I love Trifecta. That's just our go-to fertilizer for us. It's well balanced. It has nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, trace minerals, beneficial bacteria and fungi. It is absolutely amazing. There's both fast-acting and slow-release nutrients in it. It's just really, really great stuff. And how I'm going to fertilize, because these are all existing, they're all established in the ground, is I'm just going to take some fertilizer and just sprinkle it around. Now, for heavy feeding plants, go-to is about a quarter cup per plant, but because there's just so many plants in here and there's really no good way to really fertilize them all, I'm going to take, in this little 16 square foot area here, I'm gonna take about a cup to a cup and a half, sprinkle it around, and I just take my fingers or a little scratchy little hand rake. I'm just gonna rough it into the surface. Just rough it up. I can't tell you how many people are so worried about damaging their little strawberry plants. When they are coming out of dormancy, you can rough the snot out of them. It does not matter one bit. I just rough right over them. I mean, I'm pulling out stuff, like I'm pulling out all this growth, and I'm just grabbing right over top. I'm brushing my hands right over top that green growth, and I'm literally grabbing nothing that was from the previous season. It is all dead. They are so resilient. As long as you're not really digging in the soil and messing up their root system, you can't go wrong. They're not that delicate. They're plenty fine. So I just throw that trifecta around there, or your fertilizer of choice. They love nitrogen, especially in the early season. Helps wake them up. Give it a good scratch in like that, and then I'll follow up. If it's gonna rain in the forecast, great, I won't water. But if there's no rain in the forecast, I'll follow up with a good little watering. That way it helps send that fertilizer down into the root system and really gives them a boost. So big mistake is just not fertilizing, because your plants look like they're fine. Third mistake that I don't want to see you make when planting out strawberries has to do with getting your brand new strawberry runners in the mail or from the store. Now, when you get dormant strawberry runners, you want to plant them right away. The biggest mistake is just leaving them in the bag, thinking that because it's not time to plant yet, you might have a frost in the forecast, or you might not be to your typical planting date. You want to get them in the ground. They are cold hardy. They will do just fine. Again, take it from this bed of strawberries we planted out last year. They are thriving. They're coming out of dormancy. They are popping up. They know full well that there is a probably 50 to 60% chance that we're going to get another frost in the forecast. They are not going to be phased one bit by that little bit of cold weather, or even a frost, or heck, even a freeze. They are fine. So when they're in their dormant phase and they're starting to break a little bit of growth, big mistake by leaving them in here. They're using up that energy to start pushing growth. You want to get them in the soil. Simply take them out of their bag, throw them into your garden. When they come from MIgardener, they're going to come with some slightly dampened sawdust that helps keep the roots alive and happy. Take them, throw them in the ground. Absolutely get them planted. Do not wait. It is a huge reason why gardeners lose their strawberries. It isn't because they arrived dead. It's because there's no soil in the bags. They're shipped bare root. And almost every single company that ships strawberries is going to ship them bare root. MIgardener and every other company included. It is far more affordable. It is far more biologically safe. It's the way that the industry does it. So because of that, you really should just learn that as soon as you get these, regardless of what the weather says, throw them in the ground if you can work your soil. If you can't work your soil and it's that frozen, take a pot of soil, throw in a temporary pot of soil just to give it something. Do not leave it bare like this, because you'll have probably a week, maybe a week and a half tops before those roots dry out and they're done for. They're absolutely dead. All the energy will have been pushed into growth, and there's nothing left for the roots to grow and uptake moisture. Get them in the ground. You'll definitely thank me later for it. These are strawberry runners. Now, these grew from the mother plants that we planted last season. And one of the largest mistakes that I see gardeners making is buying too many strawberry plants right off the bat. Now, I know you're probably thinking, okay, Luke sells strawberry plants on his website. This is probably the most backwards business pitch or sales pitch that I've ever heard. And you'd be correct. I want to set you up for success. It does me no good to sell someone 100 strawberry plants when they need 100 strawberry plants. My recommendation for you would be to plant 25 or 30 strawberry plants, and then at the end of the season, you're going to have your 100. Each strawberry plant will send out 2 to 3, sometimes even 4 runners in a growing season. And those are free plants that when they set down roots, these are just in the walkway. They're not going to survive here. We're going to have to dig them up because they're going to get trampled on. But they grew down from these mother plants up here in this raised bed, down on the ground, and they set down roots. We did not plant these here. They just kind of naturally set down roots here. And it is such a common mistake that I see gardeners making, where they have a space, let's say it's 100 square feet. They do the math for filling up that 100 square feet, and they don't account for any runner development. They don't account for any future plants. They just say, this is how many plants I need, this is how many plants I'm gonna buy. And if that was you this year, I'm sorry that you're just getting this message now, but it'll be a lesson learned for next time that if you need 100, start with 25 or 30. Start with like 70% less, 60% less plants than what you think you're going to need, because you're going to get so many free plants that then when those plants do create the free plants, you're not going to know what to do. And it will become more of a chore than it will a blessing, because it's kind of nice to have to, it's kind of nice to realize, oh, I only need 25 or 30 strawberry plants to get to my goal of 100 plants. Once you have 100 plants, those 100 plants are going to create 200 or 300 runners, and you're going to say, I don't even know what to do with all these plants. And it becomes a bit of a stressful situation. And that was me. That was me 4 or 5 years ago when I planted our strawberry bed, and I just had an overabundance. And the fifth and final mistake that I see way too many gardeners making, and I've also fallen into this category, and that is not mulching your strawberries. This is my mulch of choice. Now, many gardeners will choose straw. You might have gone with straw. You might have seen straw. Straw is not a bad option. In my opinion, it's just not the best option. And here's why. I absolutely love animal bedding. Animal bedding is, in my opinion, the superior mulch of choice for strawberries for a few reasons. One, breaks down relatively slowly in the mulch category. You see, you have mulch like this, okay? I would not use wood chip mulch around your strawberries. It holds on to way too much moisture. It breaks down way too slow, and you're overall going to harbor a lot of insects like pill bugs and slugs, snails, earwigs, which are going to feed on the strawberries as they're ripening. This animal bedding, these pine shavings, they dry out really quickly, but they also help to insulate the soil, which is what you're looking for. You see, strawberries are very finicky when it comes to moisture and temperature. Too much moisture, you're gonna have berry rot and crown rot and gray mold and a lot of other problems that are very challenging to have to face as a kind of hobbyist strawberry grower. You're also going to have, with too much moisture, you're going to have increased risk of blights, leaf spots, and other issues that happen from the plants just staying damp too long as well. And then also, when the soil gets too hot, you're going to have berries that will fall off. You're going to have very, very poor fruit set, very poor pollination. If you have berries that are all misshapen and kind of gnarly and craggly, that most likely has to do with improper pollination. And so what I like to do is I like to put down a good layer of right around 2 inches of animal bedding around my plants. Now, the other great thing with this is that this is not a suppressive mulch. It will suppress tiny weeds. It will act as a mulch, but mainly what we're doing is we're getting it to insulate the soil, keep it a little cooler, and we're going to help retain moisture in the soil, still while not retaining too much moisture. Because dry strawberries also, strawberries are about 95% water, and if they dry out, you're going to have problems. So I will take this mulch here, sprinkle it around, and as I said, it's not a suppressive mulch. If I happen to cover up some of the crowns with some of this, they're just gonna grow right through it. That is why I love this. I will use animal bedding on my garlic. I'll use animal bedding on my strawberries. And I, for a long time, have made this mistake of not mulching. But with the animal bedding, check this out. Like I'm putting it down and I'm fluffing it, and the leaves just come right through. The crown comes right through, just like I do with my fertilizer. I'm just roughing it up, and the animal bedding is just sifting down through the leaves. There's nothing crazy about this, but yet when I realized just how simple this was, look at this. Putting it on, I'm going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And it is just sifting and filtering its way down through, covering the soil and protecting the soil. It is that simple, and it is such an essential tip to really taking your strawberry game to the next level. Straw is okay. Straw is okay. I just don't like straw because sometimes there's some weed seeds, and also sometimes straw can really hold on to a lot more moisture than what I like. I just love the fact that this does take a while to break down because these are perennials. That's fine, time's on my side. I don't have to reapply it all that often. And also, I can take it on mature plants. I can literally just take it and I can just brush it back and forth, where I would never be able to do that with straw. Never, ever, ever would I be able to do that with straw. It just really, truly is such a game changer. And yeah, you're gonna get a little bit that blows around. That's fine, not a big deal. As soon as it gets even the slightest bit damp, it's gonna settle down. It'll be totally fine. It allows the plant, the leaves to kind of grow up through it, doesn't mulch it down, doesn't mat it down, keeps it cool, keeps it slightly damp, allows the soil still to breathe, allows the plants to breathe and dry out. It's just superior in just about every way. Super cheap. We got ours from Tractor Supply, not sponsored, that's just where we get it. They love us because we also pack our berries with it, so we got lots on hand. It is awesome. Now, you're probably gonna ask about fine shavings versus coarse shavings. I personally prefer the coarse shavings. The fine shavings are just a little too fine, but if that's all you've got, I'm sure it'll be just fine as well. And if you've got leaf mulch, mulch them with leaves. If you have other types of mulch at your disposal, use what you've got. But if you don't have anything, if you're just starting from scratch, consider going out and getting a bag of this. Stuff stretches a long ways. You're gonna be able to do a ton with this small bag here, and it's dirt cheap. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you all learned something new. I really do hope that you consider adding strawberries into your garden. We do still have a ton of amazing strawberry varieties over at MIgardener.com. The season is still young to get them growing, to get them into your garden and experience the amazing beauty that strawberries can provide and the delicious snack that they provide as well. So as always, this is Luke from the MIgardener channel, reminding you to like this video if you haven't already, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll catch you all on the next episode. As always, grow bigger. Take care. Bye. Hey, thank you so much for watching today's video. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed, consider clicking this one. You'll probably enjoy it just as much. I want to thank you for your viewership, because without it, this channel would not be as amazing as it is. Also, if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. It's free, and we upload videos every Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. We also have vegetable seeds, fertilizer, or tools. If you need any of those, consider visiting MIgardener.com. Links will be in the description box below. We've got you covered. And as always, we'll see you all in the garden. Take care. Bye.